Jai Hind all, myself Sachin. In this video, I am going to present about stack and queue data structure. These two data structures are very important and has lot of application. Initially, I am presenting the stack data structure. If we talk about the stack, then stack has only one end, and whatever we want to insert the item into the stack, then this is possible through this end, or we want to delete the item from the stack, then this is possible through this end. If we talk about the application of the stack, then stack has lot of applications, just like recursion. Recursion is based on the concept of the stack. Or if we talk about the various notations, just like prefix, infix and postfix, then we can convert from prefix to postfix, or postfix to prefix, or infix to postfix, or any other combination, then this is possible through the stack. Similarly, if we talk about the register, stack register, then this register is also based on the concept of the stack. So we have a lot of applications of the stack. Therefore, stack is very important and primary data structure. If we talk about the detailed working of the stack, then it has only one end. This end is called top of the stack. If we want to insert or remove the item from the stack, then this is possible from this end, from top of the stack. And stack works on the concept of last in, first out. Whatever we have inserted in the last, it will be removed first. So this is the criteria to implement the concept of the stack. If we talk about the working, how stack works, initially top is set to -1. Top equals to -1 simple means our stack is empty. And say we are inserting means push. If we are pushing the item into the stack, say we are pushing item 1, then top is increased by 1. Therefore, top is set to 0. And further, say we are increasing, we are inserting, we are pushing one more item. This item is say 2. Then further top is increased by 1. Now top is set to 1. And say we are removing means pop. If we are popping the item from the stack, say we are popping item 2, then top is decreased by 1. Now top equals to 0. So here simple means whenever push operation is performed, top is increased by 1. Whenever pop operation is performed, top is decreased by 1. So based on this principle, we can implement the concept of push operation and pop operation. Here now we are defining the push operation. As we have pointed out, add new items to top of the stack, and if you want to push the item onto the stack, we have to check whether my stack is full or not. If a stack is already full, then we cannot insert the item into the stack. If a stack is not full, then we can insert the item onto the stack and top is increased by 1. If we talk about the pop condition, pop operation, pop means item is deleted from the stack, and if we are performing the pop condition, so we have to check whether my stack is empty or not. If my stack is already empty, then deletion is not possible. I mean pop is not possible. If a stack is not empty, then deletion is possible and top is decreased by 1 if we are implementing the concept of the pop. If we talk about the implementation part, programming of the stack, then we need here struct stack, and this structure contains here two members. Members are item array and top item n. Here size of the stack is n. We can insert an item into the stack. And if we talk about the push operation, as we have pointed out, if our stack is already full, then insertion is not possible. So for full condition, we have here s dot top equals n minus 1. If this condition is executed, then stack is already full, and if this condition is false, it means stack is not full. We can insert the item into the stack, and here we are inserting x into the stack. We are performing here s dot item plus s dot top. I mean, first of all, top is increased by 1. After it, we are inserting the item at the top location. So in this way, we can perform push operation. And say if we talk about the pop operation, pop simple means deletion. For the deletion, we have to check whether my stack is empty or not. For this condition, we have here s dot top equals minus 1. If top equals to minus 1, our stack is empty and deletion is not possible. If a stack is not empty, then we can delete. And as we have discussed, if we are implementing the pop operation, then top is decreased by 1. Therefore, here we are performing s dot item s dot top minus minus. Initially this item is returned, then top is decreased by 1. So in this way, we can implement the concept of the stack through push operation and pop operation. So we have only here these two operations. These two are the primary operations, push and pop. Now we are presenting next data structure. This data structure is called queue data structure, and if we talk about the queue, it has two ends. Previous case, stack has only one end, but it has here two ends. First end is called rear, second end is called here front. If we want to insert the item into the queue, then this is possible through rear end. If we want to delete the item from the queue, then this is possible from the front end. So one end is used for the insertion purpose, and other end is used for the deletion purpose. And this data structure is based on the concept of first in first out. Whatever item is inserted first, it will be out first. Whatever item, whatever element is inserted, it will be processed first, then it will be removed first. So we have the concept of the first in first out, and it has lot of applications, just like railway reservation queuing system. So in the queuing system, we can implement the concept of this queue data structure. So whatever at any place, if we have the concept of the queue, then this is implemented through queue data structure. So further, it has variety of applications. And if we talk about the working of the queue data structure, then here initially both rear and front is set to -1. Initially both are set to -1, and in this diagram we have here two items we have inserted. So initially rear and front both are set to -1, and we are inserting any item onto the queue data structure, then rear is increased by 1. So initially it is set to -1, and we have inserted here 5, then rear is set to 0, and if we have inserted further 8, now rear is set to 8, rear is set to 1. So in this diagram, rear is pointing to 1 and front is pointing to -1. As we have here two items, therefore rear is pointing to 1. And if we are observing here, we are inserting any item into the Q data structure, then rear is increased by 1. If we talk about the deletion condition, how we can delete the item from the Q data structure. So initially, front, as we have discussed, front is pointing to -1, and we have deleted first item, 5 has been deleted here, then front has been increased by 1. Now front is pointing to 0. So if we observe here, if we are inserting any item in the Q data structure, then rear is increased by 1, or if we are deleting any item from the Q data structure, then further front is increased by 1. So based on these two ends, rear and front, we can insert or we can perform delete operation. So for here we have two fundamental operations, these are called insert and delete. Now we are discussing here condition for the insertion, detailed working of the insert operation. Insertion simple means here add new item to the rear of the Q, and further here we need to check the condition whether we are able to insert the item into the Q data structure or we are not able to insert the item into the Q data structure. We are terming here as the precondition. If Q is already full, then insertion is not possible, and if Q is not full, then we can insert the item into the Q data structure, and if we are inserting, then rear is increased by 1. If we talk about the delete condition, the delete simple further means here removal the item from the Q data structure. How we can remove the item from the Q data structure, and it has here further precondition. If our Q is already empty, then deletion is not possible. If Q is not empty, then we can delete the item from the Q data structure and front is increased by 1. If we are talking about the implementation of the Q data structure, then we are taking here structure Q, and we are defining here size of the Q is here 10. The size of the Q is here initially 10, and we are taking here integer item n. Size of the n is here 10, and we are taking here two ends, rear and front, and structure variable is here Q. In this slide we are discussing about the insert operation. So initially we are checking my Q is full or not. Then if rear equals to n minus 1, then Q is already full, insertion is not possible, else we can insert the item in the Q data structure, and for the insertion point of view, rear is increased by 1. So therefore we are performing here plus Q dot rear. Initially rear is increased by 1, then X is transferred into the rear location. So in this way insertion operation is performed. If we talk about the remove operation, so for the remove operation we are checking here my Q is full or not, Q is empty or not. If Q is already empty, then deletion or removed operation is not possible. So for the empty condition, if we have here rear equals to -1, then my Q is empty, and we cannot delete the item from the Q data structure. And if Q is not empty, then we can delete the item. And as we have pointed out, we have to increase front plus 1, front is increased by 1 if we are performing the remove operation. So in this way we have performed the remove operation from the Q data structure. So in this video we have discussed about structure, stack data structure and Q data structure. So these two are very important data structure. Now we are in the continuation of the stack and Q data structure. we are presenting now circular queue. Circular queue is another very important data structure. If we talk about the limitation of the queue data structure, then sometimes queue is not full and message may be displayed queue is full. So for this purpose, to handle the situation, I am presenting the circular queue data structure. So initially we have set both front and rear equals to 0. This is the initial condition, and if we observe here, this queue is in circular manner. I mean, say if we have any item in the 7th location, then next item we can insert at the 0 location. So this queue is shown in the circular manner. If we talk about the, say here, insert operation or delete operation, so same ends here we have. Ends are called front and rear. As we have pointed out initially, front and rear both are set to 0, and if we are inserting any item, then rear is increased by 1. If we are deleting any item from the queue data structure, then front is increased by 1. So in this video, in this particular slide, we have say inserted A, then first item is inserted at the 1 location. In that case, after inserting A, rear is pointing to 1. After inserting B, rear is pointing 2. After inserting C, rear is pointing to 3. After inserting D, rear is pointing to 4. So at this moment, after inserting A, B and C, rear is pointing to 4. I mean, after insertion 4 item, rear is increased by 4. We have increased rear if we are inserting any item into the circular queue data structure. So in this slide, we have shown insertion working of the circular queue data structure. If we talk about the delete operation, as it is also similar to queue data structure, whatever item first inserted, it will remove first. We have inserted item A first, then A will remove first. After it, we have removed B. So we have removed 2 items, initially A, then later item B have been removed. As we have pointed out, if we are deleting any item from the queue data structure, circular queue data structure, then delete is, front is increased by 1. So initially front was set to 0. We have deleted item A from location 1, then front is set to 1. After it, we have deleted item 2, then further front is increased by 1. Now front is set to 2. So this is the working of insertion operation and delete operation of the circular queue data structure. If we talk about the empty condition or full condition, then front equals to rear, this condition is used for the empty. In the left hand side, we are observing here both front and rear both are set to 0. Therefore, our circular queue is empty. And if we talk about the full condition, then we have here front equals to rear plus 1 modulus division n, and we have to keep here special attention. In the circular queue, one location is always empty. I mean, if we have the size of the circular queue is n, then maximum item we can insert n minus 1, otherwise we cannot implement the full condition. So therefore, we have to keep always one location empty in the circular queue. In the right hand side, this condition is used for the full condition. Here front is pointing to 4 and rear is pointing to 3. If we do here rear plus 1 modulus division n, so rear equals to here 3 and plus 1, this is 4, and the size of this circular queue is here 8. So if we divide this 3 plus 1, 4, modulus division 8, then remainder is here 4. In this way, front equals to rear plus 1, modulus division n is true. So we observe here this Q is full. I mean here we have to keep always one location empty. So here one location is empty and our condition is true. We are terming here this circular Q is full. So in this way we can check whether my circular Q is empty or circular Q is full. If we talk about the programming part, implementation part of the circular Q, initially we are taking here has defined N10, size of the circular Q is 10. We are taking here item array size is here n, size is here 10. We are taking here two variables, front and rear. Both front and rear are set to here 0. Initially 0 we can set. And we are taking here one variable name is here Q. And if we talk about the initialization purpose, then front Q dot front and Q dot rear are equals to 0. So both are, we have to set here 0. So this is here our empty condition. If we talk about the insert condition, insert operation of the circular Q, then we have to check whether my Q is full or not. So for the full condition, we have here Q dot rear plus 1 modulus division n. It should, if this is equals to front, then my circular Q is full. Otherwise, we can perform the insert operation. We are inserting here x. We have to increase rear by 1, rear plus plus, and we are inserting x into the Q data structure. If we talk about the delete condition, then further here we have to check my Q is empty or not. If my Q is empty, say front equals to rear, then this particular Q is empty, then we can perform delete operation. We can perform now delete operation. We cannot perform the delete operation because my Q is empty. If my Q is not empty, then delete operation is possible, and for the delete operation we have to increase value of front by 1. So in this way we can perform the delete operation. So in this video we have discussed about three important data structure: stack, queue and circular queue. If we are talking about the summarization of these data structure, then stack has only one end. This end is called the top of the stack. Both insertion and delete operation is possible through this end, and stack based on the concept of last in first out. If we talk about the queue data structure, then queue has two ends. Ends are called rear and front. If we talk about the insert operation, then this is possible through the rear end. If we talk about the delete operation, then this is possible through the front end. And if we talk about the circular queue data structure, further circular queue is similar to queue, but it is in circular manner. Further here we have the two ends. Ends are called rear and front. Both rear operation and front are both insert operation is possible through the rear end, and delete operation is possible through the front end. So we have discussed these important data structures using the array. Thanking you.